Welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. Masquera say. So let us take a look on what is really happening right here. It's very important for us to get to understand the happenings within the nation of Zimbabwe. Remember, and team, they are continuously fighting, and it's a moment of madness at this point in time because a lot is at stake, a lot is happening, and this is what we need to take a look upon right here. Chivhayo has distanced himself from the audios which are circulating and says he does not even know their origination. And this is a very interesting story because it then brings him to the spotlight, and it then gives those who have been accusing him of any wrongdoing an opportunity to prove that beyond reasonable doubts, Chivhayo is involved in these issues. So it's very interesting that this is happening at this point in time, and there is going to be a long battle as we speak. So he gave a statement, and he said, statement on voice messages circulating on social media. And he says that it has brought to my attention that there are voice messages purportedly being attributed to me, which are circulating on various social media platforms. In these voice notes, I'm alleged to have either communicated the impression that I wield certain influence over particular authorities of the state, or that I intended to facilitate the making of certain payments to named individuals in the public interest. I wish to make the following statement consciously in order to state the correct and factual position on this subject. So it seems Chivhayo has come out to clarify or to give his own position regarding the audios which are circulating. And this is the beginning of everything, because the moment you start to fight back, you are giving fuel to those who are bringing these audios to prove that indeed you are the person involved in these things, and they will definitely do so. And if you are not very careful, you suffer, and you will be exposed. So this is becoming more interesting at this point in time, because this is the beginning. The first thing is you expose, the person defends himself, and more evidence comes. So he says, I categorically refute, deny, and dismiss with contempt recording the voice messages in question. For the avoidance of any doubt, I have never at any certain material time recorded the alleged voice messages, neither have I transmitted such to anyone. I therefore unequivocally distance and totally disassociate myself from these unauthentic voice messages. I have reason to believe that these recordings were generated through sophisticated technology or with the fraudulent intention of creating false alarm and despondency. This is what he's saying. So Chivhayo has bought that position of AI being involved in these things, and this then brings us to the major question. When the two gentlemen, Mike Mpofu, is it Mike Mpofu and the other one, Chimombe, when they released a statement, there is no statement of them stating that they do not even know about the transaction of 40 million. They never distanced themselves from that letter, and that is the basis of this whole story. As long as their accusations stand, and as long as their accusations are still there, then there is a problem. Let us go with this statement, and I'm going to show you where the problem is. He says the content and character of the alleged voice messages is however consistent with a sustained attack on my character and standing as a businessman by two excitable individuals who have recently made outrageous demands for certain payments from me without any legal contractual basis of doing so. These two failed, struggling briefcase businessmen Mike Chimombe and Moses Mpofu are merely overzealous extortionists and fraudsters who solely rely on opportunistic delinquency as a means of survival. If their demands for payment were indeed genuine, the duo should have approached the courts of law for redress. This is what he says. And it becomes more interesting that he confirms that Mike Chimombe and Moses Mpofu are indeed behind the letters which circulated a few weeks ago or a few days ago. And this is a very important confirmation which we all needed, because if these two gentlemen can prove that beyond reasonable doubts these audios were from Wikino Chivhayo, it means he's going down. These gentlemen are not doing this on their own. I want to tell you this. When you are dealing with Zimbabwe, touching Emmerson Mnangagwa is not done when you are on your own. This is a group of people doing this purposefully to take down Emmerson Mnangagwa. The target is not Wikino Chivhayo. The target is Emmerson Mnangagwa. This is the person which they target to take down. So by Wikino Chivhayo trying to come up and cover up, then accuse Mike Chimombe of being overzealous over anything, then it becomes a problem, because this is the evidence which is available. And I believe that the people who are leaking these voice messages, they have sat down, agreed, and they found out a way to deal with this issue, which means here Chivhayo, the only way he can prove himself is to take the duo to court to prove themselves. It's Chivhayo who must take the duo to court to prove that they are indeed extorting money from him. Because extortion on its own is a crime in Zimbabwe. Extortion is a crime, which means if Mike Chimombe and Moses Mpofu are extorting money from Wikino Chivhayo, did he make a police report? No, he didn't. So he is blaming these two gentlemen for not going to court yet, but is not blaming himself for failing to make a police report of extortion. This is how Wikino Chivhayo could have stopped all this embarrassment. He could simply have taken Mike Chimombe and Moses Mpofu to court to say, you made a demand of so and so, and you are trying to extort money from me. Can the police arrest this man or these two gentlemen? That is the only way Chivhayo can, at this point in time, make his name clear, or can clear his name. So he says no amount of intimidation, coercion, or duress will ever result in the unlawful making of payments that are due, so that are not due or payable by me. I am fully prepared for any litigation or other consequence arising from demands by these two, which are entirely premised on non-existent, fallacious, unlawful, and extortionate grounds. I fully reserve my rights to take stern legal action against these two for conduct that is grossly defamatory and that is well calculated to put my name and business interests into disrepute. So instead of giving this statement, why can't you simply take them to court? Why can't you go to ZRP and report them? You don't even need to give them summons. You simply need to report to the police to say, there are people who are extorting me. Themba Mlisko, when he was a member of parliament, was arrested for extortion and was removed from the Mines Portfolio Committee chairmanship. After he was arrested, we do not know how that case ended, because of it was a petty case and there were no facts surrounding that case. But you could have done that. And given that you are very connected, why is it that you are afraid to take them to court? To take them to the police? Why is it that you are afraid? It's because you know the nature of everything. So point number 4 says, I categorically deny having any business relationship with these two illiterate individuals or concluding any dealings in terms of which they would be paid what they are publicly demanding. I further place on record that I have not, whether personally or through any form of companies, been a party to a contract with the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, Department of Immigration, or Zimbabwe Republic Police, as insinuated in the manufactured voice messages. These government entities are available to confirm this position. These institutions you have brought right here, they will never come to confirm anything, because the way you operate on a Wikino, we know it. You go on the companies on the list, on the tender list. You pick a company from the tender list. You go to that company, you make your own presentations. You give them another contract, what do you call it? You give them another quotation, which they will go to avail to the ministries in line or to any. Then after you have done everything, you have your own hidden contract. This is the issue which was insinuated right there. Vana Chimombe vari kuti iwewe Chivhayo iwewe, you used their own company, Better Brand Security, to do this everything, and money is now being paid to you instead of to Better Brands. Instead of money being paid to Better Brands, money is now being paid to you by the company which was given the contract. So this is known for sure that you guys are criminals and you are crooks, and this is how you operate. We have been talking about these issues. I do not know hangu kuti anorambirei, and why is it that he's running away from facts. So he says the fake voice messages coupled with previously circulated fraudulent documents on the same subject are cluttered with political innuendos and undertones. The shadowy intention of these discredible claims is to discredit and soil the image of His Excellency President ED. Right. This is the biggest mistake he did make in all this. Everything he had said, he could have defended himself without involving the first family. This is the biggest problem, because he has now robbed in the president himself and is now trying to defend the image of the president. And what if evidence is brought to the president himself to say, Mr. President, there is evidence A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K about these activities? What do you think is going to happen to you, Mr. Chivhayo? So you are now telling us about the victory of Emmerson Mnangagwa of the August 2023 harmonized elections. The same people you are accusing right here are the ZANU-PF people who are supposed to be celebrating the victory of your president. You are supposed to be celebrating together victory of Emmerson Mnangagwa. And right here, you are here to defend Mnangagwa from people in your own party. That is very important to understand, that the basis of this fraud can easily be understood because of this statement from Chivhayo. This statement further exposes Emmerson Mnangagwa more than. This is further harm to the name Emmerson Mnangagwa. So he is claiming that the machinations are also well calculated, which means if they are well calculated, these are people who are very powerful, because Mike Chimombe na Moses Mpofu Pachavo, they are not so powerful within any structures. And according to Chivhayo, he is saying that they are illiterate, which means they cannot calculate anything. So he says the machinations are also well calculated to put into question and cast aspersions on the procurement processes which relate to the conducting of last elections in Zimbabwe. I wish to publicly state that I have not been involved, neither do I hold any influence over procurement processes by ZEC or any other government ministries, department or agencies. What will you do if evidence start to come out of bank accounts zamne makashandisa kuita mapayments iwayo, probably kuna gogo? What will you do? Pakatanga kubuda mabank accounts anachigumba. What are you going to do? So in my own view, Wikino Chivhayo right here is further making a very, very grave mistake, and this is not going to end well. The only way Wikino Chivhayo could have saved himself was to be quiet. But now that he has agreed to be part of this fight, then it's game on. It's game on, because these people are not going to stop here. Don't you think that these people are going to stop? They are not going to stop. The agenda is to take Emmerson Mnangagwa and his cronies down. That is the agenda. Which means these people are not going to stop at any point in time. Solicitor at large says, Ndezvako Dunda, we don't have time to read your nonsense. So which means people do not care. We are not stupid wena. Okay, no one will read this nonsense, Mr. Vice President. Say chini ndechako ichi. Even Nick na George vafana vako usachikisidzirwe chibate kuti dzvi. Padare says, I am greatly disappointed. It is rather too late. So this is ZANU-PF Murakashi, who is disappointed with Wikino Chivhayo, which means they have bought this idea. Yekuti Chivhayo is implicated in this. They are seeing the true colors of ZANU-PF and what has been happening. They are realizing that they have been defending nonsense for a very long time. So you'd see that this is something going to be very important going forward, guys. This is the beginning of everything. The first thing is they strike, you defend, they prove. You see the consequences which are going to follow, right? They strike, you defend, they prove. This thing, guys, is very important when you are dealing with in politics. When they strike, it's better for you to keep quiet if you are involved. Because there is evidence of Wikino Chivhayo having caused relations with Emmerson Mnangagwa, which can't be explained. Remember, there is protocol when the president is moving in and out of the country. There is protocol which is followed. You don't see Mnangagwa, but you see Wikino Chivhayo, who is not a government official and part of the protocol. You always see him being part and parcel. Why? Why can't you have time on your own days and so forth? How did you get that contract? Yes, telling Mr. Chivhayo. The issue is not about, is not going to end there. Because details are going to be dug out of Militech, details of IMC. All these details are now in public. That Mr. Chivhayo, you are somehow connected to these people. So no matter how you try to be clever, you will never win this. You will never, ever win this. You will never. So this is something very important right here. It's something very important, and we wait to see how everything is going to end. But this is becoming more interesting and more interesting as each day passes. This is going to be very, very interesting. As time goes on, then it's game on. Because right now it is the battle of Chiwenga and Mnangagwa. This war is between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga. I'm telling you this. This war is between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga. The silence of VP Chiwenga, Pachiro Wama slogan is 2030. Do you think he's simply going to let it go just like that? There are several forces behind this, very powerful forces behind this. So it is what it is. That is the response of Wikino Chivhayo. He is saying, I'm not involved. Neither is President Emmerson Mnangagwa involved in these allegations or in any transaction with the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. And the ball is now in the court of the accusers to continue feeding social media with more messages. And we will see. We are going to see. And I believe that these audios, there are very powerful people in possession of these audios. And it's game on. The battle is on. And we'll continue to watch from the terraces what is going to happen next.